Well, hello, Blackhawks Nation. Welcome to Blackhawks Daily, your favorite recap of the daily buzz around your Chicago Blackhawks. I'm your host, PJ. Thank you so much for tuning in as we uplift, support, and celebrate our beloved Blackhawks, jumping into their centennial season. As usual, lots to cover and chat about, so let's dive into the top 4 topics of today. And the first topic of today, we're gonna kind of pump the brakes a little bit here. So, as you know, I've been super excited about how this season has started out. I think we're shooting way beyond expectations. Bedard is already talking some smack. Well, maybe not smack, but he's like, we want to win now. So let's talk about the timeline. Let's talk about this entire rebuild. It's been 3 years since the Blackhawks began this rebuild. Since they landed the number 1 pick, selected Connor Bedard, and set off a chain of change intended to speed up how quickly the franchise returned to relevance. The first 2 years didn't go as fast as many had hoped, finishing near or at the bottom of, or actually near the bottom of the Western Conference both seasons. But now, this year, it totally feels different, right? It does feel different. With a 3-2-2 record and 8 points, and that monster 8-3 freaking destruction of the Blues on national TV, the energy seems to be shifting, right? People are starting to believe. These guys are showing some grit, some resilience and tenacity. The young core, Bedard, Frank Nazar, Spencer Knight, they're not just names of the future, they are contributors now. We talked a lot about names of the future yesterday, but these guys are in there now, today. So there was an interview with NHL.com reporter Tracy Myers where she talked with Danny Wirtz, and he gave a little bit of reality check. He made it clear this rebuild is on track, but it's not going to be rushed. He isn't putting a fixed deadline on when the Blackhawks will be contending. And he says, the timeline is really predicated on how and when these players developed into the kind of players that we know they can be. The good news is that does seem to be on track. I will remain patient while the process unfolds. We're all as anxious as anyone to get into the playoffs and to compete for the Stanley Cup. But as I've learned quickly, there are no shortcuts. There are no easy buttons on this stuff. We have to let the process and the incredible pipeline of talent, no kidding, we've acquired continue to pan out. So those are his words. No high promises, no flashy, we're back next year headlines. It's about growth, it's about development, and it's about patience, right? Which I don't have the most patience, but he's asking for it. He also praised Kyle Davidson, the GM, by saying, I'm very pleased on how Kyle has handled himself. Every step of the way, he's been very clear and deliberate on what he needs to get done to continue to improve and build our team. He continues to check every box as we move along the steps of our journey of rebuilding this group, end quote. So the narrative you're getting right now is things are going well, but well doesn't mean final. He's building foundation, he's stacking blocks, he's not chasing quick fixes. And why does this matter? Well, it matters for us, the fans, right? It matters for the team. It matters for how we talk about this season. Because when the owner gives that kind of tone, acknowledging growth but rejecting hype, it kind of changes expectations. So it basically says if you're looking for a quick jump into playoff contention, you might still be a little ahead of schedule for the rest of us. If you're hyped about the young guys showing impact now, you're right to be, because that's what they're showing. If you're expecting blockbuster trades and roster teardowns, that's coming, but maybe not until key pieces mature. And most importantly, it gives the organization permission to build right, not build fast. Because building wrong, well, that basically sinks everything, right? If you don't have a good foundation, that house ain't going to stand. So the real check-in, where are we? The games are tighter. The effort is higher. The youth are delivering bits of what we have dreamed of, right? Bedard's going to need a new contract soon. If he stays, that's going to be a major, major move that we're going to have to contend with. And I say if he stays, everything says that his percentage of staying is basically his jersey number, 98. He's basically a Hawk for long term. But you just never know, right? And I'm just trying to temper my own expectations. The pipeline of prospects is real. The NHL club is not just participating, we're competing. And Wirtz, he's not promising the moon yet, but he is pointing at the stars. So, we'll take it, right? So, for you as a fan, let's enjoy the ride, right? Let's celebrate how far we've come, because we have, right? It's only been 7 games, but it's really been a quite remarkable 7 games. 7 very competitive, right? Like, we're on the ice competing every night. It's kind of awesome to see. But remember, this is still a process, right? It doesn't dampen the excitement. It basically enhances it, because there's more things to come. Because the better this thing is built, the longer it lasts. So it's there. It's going to be coming. It might not happen today, but it's coming. And it's just really good to see this progress this far. So we always keep hearing, trust the process. I'm trying to as much as possible. And I get excited, so it's kind of fun. So thank you. Moving on from there, let's take a look at the next segment to talk about. Let's talk about Mr. Bertuzzi. Side note, my furnace went out, so it's 60 degrees in this house right now. I'm freezing, so I'm drinking a little wine. Yeah, it's Tuesday night, so, drink along with me. No, you've seen this Wednesday, so don't do that at work. That's weird. All right. Tyler Bertuzzi is making an early impact for the Hawks, right? So let's zero in a little bit on whose presence this season feels different. That's Mr. Bertuzzi. As Tab Bamford over at Bleacher Nation put it best, the early returns on Bertuzzi in Chicago are incredibly encouraging. And yeah, we're only 7 games in, but when something jumps out this much, you got to lean in. You got to look at it, right? So let's start with where he was. Last season, Bertuzzi had a solid year, 23 goals, 82 games, second highest total, and the first time he actually played all 82 games. Solid, right? Very solid, but not elite, right? Far from it. What raised eyebrows was the inconsistency. As Scott Powers noted back on March 23rd, Bertuzzi would go stretches where he'd have 0 goals and a handful of assists over 20 games, and then he'd break out for a hot run and then fade again. And it was a roller coaster. So when the Hawks hired Blashill, someone who coached Bertuzzi over in Grand Rapids back in 2014, 2015, and then again in 16 through 22, the hope was this: unlock more of that potential, smooth out the streaks, turn the dynamic into something more consistent. Seems to be paying off. So what are the numbers saying so far? Well, the numbers are very good. According to the natural stat trick, here's Bertuzzi's 5-on-5 snapshot for early this season. He has the second most 5-on-5 ice time among forwards, 98 minutes and 12 seconds, behind only Connor Bedard. He leads the team with 9 individual high-danger chances. He leads the team with 16 individual scoring chances, 4 in regards to us. He's tied with Alex Vlasic for team lead in 2 primary assists. He's tied with Bedard for second on the team with 4 points. Frank Nazar currently has 6. He's second in individual expected goals, 4, at 1.93. Only Ryan Donato leads with 2.28. Excuse me. And what's worth noting, he's won 12 of 19 faceoffs at 5-on-5. That's a 63.16% clip, which is strong for a forward whose bread and butter isn't draws, right? And if you want one more stat to gravitate towards, according to NHL Edge, he's in the 93rd percentile league-wide in high-danger chances entering Monday's action. So why this matters, here's the thing. Yes, Bertuzzi has always had high-end moments, but they were sprinkled in between quiet stretches. The worry was, can he hold up in this system? Can he bring the same impact each night, not just the nights when it all kind of gels and it clicks? So far, it looks like he will. He's playing more, 17 minutes and 2 seconds of average time on ice this October versus his 16.44 career October average. He's engaged night after night. He's fitting into the structure that Blashill is building, which is being competitive, offensive, and accountable at all times. Especially in a young roster context, you need your strength veterans to lead by doing. You need guys who can be reliable, even when the kids around them are still fumbling around finding their stride. Bertuzzi is filling that role. Now, I'm not saying they're fumbling around, but you get what I mean by finding their stride. Now, full transparency, this very well could be a hot streak, right? We've seen this before from Bertie. This could be the version of Bertuzzi riding a wave, and it might pull back. He has been slow to start in past Octobers. Before this year, his career October average was .66 points per game in 54 career games. This year, 5 points in 7 games. That's above that average for sure, but it's early. Keep your expectations realistic. Don't assume this means he's going to drop 60 goals or something absurd. I mean, that'd be awesome, but I don't expect it. But what it does mean is that we're watching a piece of the puzzle fall into place, and that's fun. So, look, if you ask me, this version of Bertuzzi we're seeing right now is a big win for the Hawks. He's checked more boxes in 7 games than many expected him to check all season. He's skating hard, he's shooting, he's driving plays, and he's being counted on, and he's delivering. For a young team like this, that's gold. You just don't build around a new wave of youth. You anchor it with folks who could elevate the floor, who stabilize each and every night. Bertuzzi is showing up every night for that role. So let's keep it locked in, right? I'm watching his progression carefully because if it stays this way, the Hawks have another awesome weapon, and that matters at the end of it all. So very cool stuff from Mr. Tuzzi, or Bertie, or Bertuzzi. Moving on from there, a little good news. Nick Foligno's back, right? So we're not just talking about goals, we're not just talking about stats, but we're talking about heart, family, and leadership. So our captain, Nick Foligno, is back with the team after taking a brief leave for something way more important than hockey. Foligno missed the last 3 games while dealing with a family, basically emergency, right? His 12-year-old daughter, Milana Foligno, needed follow-up surgery related to a congenital heart disease, a congenital heart condition she's had ever since birth. They've obviously been battling this for years as a family. Foligno returned to practice on Monday at Fifth Third Arena, and this is what he had to say. I'm happy to report that Milana's home now and doing well. She's probably the one who gives us the most strength with the way she's handled this adversity. It's impressive for a 12-year-old girl to handle it face on. It's obviously been very, very stressful, but we found a lot of comfort in the support of the hockey community, the fans, old teammates, and my second family here with the Hawks. It's felt by our family, and we appreciate it so much. Foligno, Milana, was born in 2013 with congenital heart defects, had surgery as a baby, and then later had a valve replacement after endocarditis in 2018. So he and his wife, Janelle, run the nonprofit, The Heart's Playbook, to raise awareness for kids with this heart conditions. And as you know, even with his brother, with doing the nonprofit for his mom, I mean, the Foligno's hearts are on their sleeves at all times, and it's just really kind of huge. And it's kind of cool, right? Foligno was named the 36th captain in this franchise history on September 8th, back last year. He's the first to wear the C after Jonathan Toews departed. His leadership has been an anchor, both on and off the ice. Last season, his mentorship took root. He hosted young Hawks on a summer trip to Sudbury. Nazar, Kaiser, and Doc building relationships that matter. Now his return matters on 2 levels. A, locker room presence. Coach Blashill called his return great energy, and he's our leader. And then, of course, on the other level, it's the human story for Milana, for Foligno's family. It's a reminder that hockey life is real life, too. In the first 4 games of this season, he had 2 assists, skating mostly on the 4th line, but his value isn't just in points. It's in character, example setting, and the maturity that he brings. So what are we going to watch? What are we watching for? Will Foligno rejoin the lineup for Thursday's game versus Tampa Bay? The hope is yes, and his return could stabilize things even further. His minutes and his role, will he slot back in at the same usage? Will we see him again, or will we see him regain a vibe that lifts younger players? His off-ice influence, the leadership he shows now trickles down into every shift, every discussion. That silent lift matters just as much as offense. So let's be clear, for Milan and the Foligno family, this was a priority. Hockey's great. 7 games in, it's great. Family absolutely comes first. Hockey took a back seat. Their strength through all of this shines. And for the Hawks, having their captain back and grounded and be able to face the next game clear-eyed, well, that matters because this team is young, evolving, building habits and identity, and leadership like Foligno's accelerates that. So as we press play into Thursday's game, Let's root for Milana's full recovery, celebrate Foligno's return, and keep an eye on how this team grows on the ice and as a family. Very, very cool. So, moving on from there, let's get to some hot takes. And I'm going to say, first of all, thank you for all your contributions. Second of all, I find it pretty funny that we're all on the same wavelength, because the way I do this process is I find the topics I want to talk about, and then I do all the stuff to get it all ready to talk about. And then I will go and look to see what the comments are so I can add them in right at the last minute. And more often than not, things that I talk about that I already have scheduled to talk about, you guys have already put into the comments as well. So it's kind of fun. So great minds think alike. I like that. Toian, and I apologize if I mispronounce that, a repeat offender, says, I was impressed with Bertuzzi being so noticeable last week, and I loved watching Kaiser step up and play so well since game one. Very true. Kaiser's doing great. Like, I love that kid. I just think he's doing a great job. Him and Crevier, they're scrappy. They're just bringing it. I can't wait for Del Mastro to come up. Anyway, absolutely agree with you, sir, or ma'am. I'm not sure, but absolutely agree with you. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for being a repeat offender. Absolutely. Lester, the commander, definite repeat offender. He says he enjoys our videos. Thank you very much. He enjoys sharing them with all of his sites, including his blog, Boldly Speaking. That's his blog. Go check it out. Go look for it. Great news about Nick Foligno's daughter. As a prostate cancer survivor, I'm keeping Troy Murray in our prayers. Very true, actually. Hope he's back and beats cancer soon. John Wiedemann and Troy are the best together. Everyone filling in for Troy is doing a great job. I feel number 98, Mr. Bedard, is getting better each game. Yeah. Lester, right there with you, buddy. First of all, again, I'm so glad you've kicked prostate cancer to the curb. And also, this reminds me, I'm wearing this. This is my wife, Kara. And if you go to karatheauthor.com, she wrote a book about breast cancer, which is really more of a pep talk. Half the proceeds go to charity. And for every book that's sold, free book is given to someone who is fighting cancer now. So go check that out, karatheauthor.com, C-A-R-A, theauthor.com. Really appreciate it. And thank you for helping us try to get breast cancer out of here. So thank you. And thank you, Lester. Joshua Bauman, 3209, repeat offender. I know this for sure. Me and my girlfriend are big fans of Tuesday with his long head and facial hair. I think he meant long hair and facial hair. Always chewing on his mouthpiece and hopping around the goal, going full board to the whistle. He's been a great line mate with Bedard. He really has. He kind of got that Duncan Keith energy, doesn't he? A little bit, like kind of that swagger. So absolutely agree with you, sir. Thank you guys for watching the games, and thank you for being a repeat offender. So that is a wrap for today, Blackhawks Nation. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. And please like and subscribe. If you have subscribed, well, thank you. Thank you, really, truly, so much for your support and for sharing about the channel to all your friends and neighbors. Get them all in here. The more, the merrier. If you made a comment, thank you for sharing your thoughts, your expertise, and your passion about the Hawks with us all. And if you're a repeat offender in the comment section, thank you so much for your contributions. Absolutely an honor building this community with you guys. I just love it. So thanks to you all as we celebrate the best team in hockey with the very best fans in all of sports, right? It doesn't matter what the sport is. Chicago fans bring it, and no one does it better than us. No one with more heart and more care and clear-eyed. I mean, we call a spade a spade. We will talk our team down when they're playing like crap, and we will talk them up. And they're just like family, because we can talk bad about our teams, but no one else can. I love that. So thank you for being the very best fans in sports in the absolute best city that this fine world has to offer. So that does it for today. I'm PJ, and I will see you next time on the Blackhawks Daily.